It's theorized that young Somali Americans may be vulnerable to radical appeals because they are among the youngest, poorest, newest immigrants to the United States. And like any immigrants in the new country, they may feel initially a lack of structure and definition in defining their lives, torn between their parents' tradition, tribe and clan identities, and the new cultures and traditions offered by the American society. The ties are strong and tenuous. But these are not the only problems facing these young members of the community. In the past few years, there have been an increasing number of Somali youth who are involved in gang violence. Dozens of young men have been injured and killed, and a number of youth lost to gang violence, and in a much higher than normal rate that has been going on in the Somali community before, some of them engaged in warfare. Yet this problem is not the one that is grabbing the headlines. But why? Joining us today is Ilyas Yarbo and Awil Mukhtar. They are co-founders of Somericans. How you like that? They write and advocate for issues pertaining to the Somali community. And Idil Usman, a writer and journalist for the Voice of America, East African covering Somalia desk. And these guests today will share with us their perspectives. I love the fact that Idil has a British accent that she's going to be sharing. Used to be at the Guardian newspaper in England, and she'll be highlighting us some of the parallels between the American and the British Somali issues. Thank you all for being with me today. I just want to start out, we don't have a long time. Is the perception that I just gave of Somali Americans, is that what's really happening?
Let me start off by saying that I think media in general is fueled by negativity. You know, whenever I turn on the TV and I hear about my country, I hear about...
If it bleeds, it leads.
Exactly. I hear about those pirating. I hear about those who go back home to fight in the cause of jihad. You know, where's the positivity? I want to hear about...
But before we go there, are you saying that the Somali pirate reality doesn't exist?
I mean, it does, but we can't let a few individuals dictate who we are as a country.
All right. So you're saying that this is not the whole picture.
Exactly.
What's Somericans?
Somericans is an informal group right now. Somali Americans hyphen. We are working on our mission, vision, and charter right now to establish an integrated networking system in America for the Somali youth to, upon completion of their education, be able to assist their native land in a positive way. All
right, so you're saying that this tension that we're talking about in terms of trying to help the conditions back home, that there are some young people who are taking a different direction.
Yeah, we are the counter to the pirates.
Okay. Exactly.
Now, Idil, they were talking about the media, and that the media is getting it wrong.
Right.
What do you think? You're part of the media apparatus.
Well, I think on one hand, people often need to realize that the media is always going to be the outsourcing the news. They're always going to look for the news and tell it like it is. Now, if that is perceived by the audience as bad image, as negative output, that is something that is the public's reception. It's not something that the media per se is aiming at. The media aims to deliver the news that's going out. Now, if pirates are, doing piracy on the coast of Somalia, that is something that's happening. So the news will be reported by the media. What I would say is that because the media has this general, crisis-driven sort of way of working, or perhaps, putting the news out there, it doesn't aim to put crisis out there. It just aims to put the news out there. And, I'm sorry to say, but normally the news is negative. It's not just with Somalia. I mean, the earthquake that happened in Chile was the first time we heard about it. The same goes with Haiti.
Okay.
There were people that didn't even know about Haiti and its existence and its history before the earthquake happened. So my point is, it's up to the community to portray their image. So
it's on these guys to change the image.
And we're up for it. We're up for the job. All I want to hear is positivity. I want people to know about the the girls in Northern Virginia who raised over $15,000 to help rebuild an elementary school back home in Somalia. I want to hear about
which for a while hasn't had a functioning government.
Exactly, yeah.
Correct.
For a while.
So education has been at a loss.
Definitely.
So people outside are helping to rebuild. What else is going on?
Internally, there is some redevelopment internally. The breakaway region that succeeded in the north, known as Somaliland, they have invested in underwater facilities. They're investing in a lot of universities. They're having a mass education system.
While you're talking about this education thing, I have a sense that education among Somalis is considered to be.
Yes, there's a critical emphasis placed on education within the Somali community.
Right, like maybe we hear about Asian students whose parents are on them about higher education, right? That stereotype is on Asian students. Why don't we hear about that with Somali students?
It perhaps might be something overlooked because you have a lot of other dramatic things going on within our community. But education, there is a critical emphasis on education.
All right, what about your family? Just for
my family, well, my father's brother, he's basically been my father in my life, and he's a pedantic. For lack of a better word, he's a pedantic, and he stresses that I at least complete.
Okay, no, I don't want to get too personal, but you said your uncle is your father in your life. What happened to your father?
He's
He's with us. He passed away.
He's passed away.